Hey everyone.
Guys, again. Hey everyone. Welcome to another episode of Lines on the Page, where we will again have technical difficulties, but guess what? We're just going to go along with it. So, that being said, I am your host, Thomas Price, and it is August the 20th of 2023. Before we begin with doing Green Arrow and all the things that we'll be tackling with this page, we're going to do some quick housekeeping stuff first. And Haven Comics, located at 1871 Slaughter Road in Madison, Alabama. And please remember to like and subscribe. Every like and subscribe that we get helps us out immensely. And if you want to figure out where I am on social media, you can find me through my link tree or through my handle on social media at tpriceartworks. And that is where you could find me. So, Green Arrow is actually a bit of an interesting character, simply because I would say I have a very baseline knowledge of the character. I know that, billionaire playboy Oliver Queen gets shipwrecked, learns some skills, comes back to the real world, and basically uses it to fight crime as a very Robin Hood-esque character, which depending on which version, and sorry, there's something on the screen here. Depending on which version of who wrote what, basically Queen ends up actually selling all this stuff. And he does die at some point, which, of course, in comics, permadeath isn't always permanent. So in the 90s, you had Connor Hawk, which not a lot of people liked him as much as either Tim Drake or Kyle Rayner in the 90s. But anyways, Oliver Queen comes back, and of course, the on again, off again situation with Black Canary, which there is a wedding issue that remember Amanda Conner and Jimmy Palmiotti doing. It was a good comic, really good comic. So, if you're expecting me to do some like drop knowledge nuggets, whatever, in terms of Green Arrow, I'm sorry, I can't help you. My knowledge is so baseline, it's dumb compared to other DC characters within the main roster of the Justice League, I think. Anyways, so for today, what we're going to be doing is like the Venom one that did several episodes back. We're going to be dealing with color blend cover and basically using negative space to our advantage. So in this case, we are going to be using the green as our main area of negative space, and we'll be dropping in black and putting in some white and stuff like that. So that being said, we're going to go straight to it. Every now and then you might see me flip this open to either look at the current character design, also have something else pulled up on Google because compared to like say Green Lantern, I haven't really drawn Green Arrow. Maybe once or twice in my life. So kind of bad, kind of sucks. But that is totally fine because we can definitely work our way around it. So, despite the fact that, yes, we will be using negative space, it still does not hurt to put down the building blocks of how you're going to be putting in the character. So in this case, I'm imagining a little bit of a green light that just happens to be on Oliver Queen, but the most majority of this will be in black. And of course, there has to be rain. It makes sense. I don't see why not. Rain is good. Speaking of rain, I hear that California has been dealing with a hurricane on top of an earthquake. In which case, if there's anyone here watching that happens to be living in California right now, are you okay? Is Godzilla approaching? I'm quite curious at this point. So something that I have noticed uh, throughout the years is when we're dealing with characters that happen to have hoods or hats, uh, helmets, anything that covers the head. It's always within good practice to understand, well, first off, the size of the head of the character that you're drawing, and uh, well, also, as you see right now, I'm erasing a bit of it away because I'm going to lower this just a bit. But you never want to make the hats or hood or helmet or anything like that smaller than the actual head of the person that you're drawing. Um, and I think that's something that um, any person that's doing art will just, uh, unfortunately and automatically, uh, won't see it until it's actually pointed out, which that happened to me. Um, I think I was in high school. Because at that time period, I was really into the idea of mech suits and um, learning a lot of sci-fi stuff. High school, like compared to now, nowhere near as much. Um, the concepts are still the same. Yeah, let's have some hair peeking out in the hood. And of course, would not be Oliver Queen without facial hair. A very typical and iconic, almost Guy Fawkes-ish looking facial hair. I don't know if this is actually showing up at all on the screen because of all the green, which if it doesn't, I do apologize. Let's see here. Trying to think. This angle going on. So, if anyone who that is watching this that has recently been or has recently commissioned me to do a sketch cover, thank you so much. It was definitely a shot in the dark. If anyone was actually interested, and it wasn't just people think and you do it and then no one bites. I've had that happen before, and I've learned my lesson from that years ago. Um, so, but for those of you who did chime in, thank you so much. Because of this, I actually have my first international customer, which I am quite stoked about that. Um, okay, there as well, right there. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have drawn Black Canary more than Green Arrow. All right, so going to quickly pencil in the areas that we're going to be blocking off as completely black. Which by doing this, you know what is going in and what is being taken out. I think I'm gonna change up this facial hair part just a bit. There we go. Right. So that is there, and then we're going to X that off so that when we drop in all the blacks, we know exactly where it's going to go. Let's see here. But yeah, going back to what I was originally talking about, definitely want to thank every single one of you that have chimed in and wanted to be a part of that sale, which is still going on until September 1st. The only reason is just because there are several things that I would like to do and finish. One of them is going to be uh, one of them is going to be uh, the first print in a couple of months, which is going to be the Resident Evil 2 25th anniversary prints that I would have liked to have rolled that thing out months ago, but more important and pressing work happened. That is totally fine. Yes, we are getting the Errol Flynn uh, goatee. Just not, it's just not Green Arrow without it, you know? Mm. Change this up. Yeah, there we go. All right. So, the next print that I'm rolling out is the Resident Evil 25th anniversary print. I'm very excited about that because that has technically been in the works for a couple months now. Uh, and after that, um, the Snake Eyes print will be ready as well. There is going to be a special Christmas time called a print. There will be a Stranger Things print, uh, which something that I'm meant to do probably about 2 years ago, and just never got around to it. Um, but that will be happening, and then which that one will come out until January of next year, and then February is going to be Beauty and the Beast. Which, if any of you have happened to own my sketchbook, Between the Lines, uh, which if you don't, currently have copies of that over at Haven Comics. Uh, so you can grab your copy there. But there is a thumbnail to that one, and also a thumbnail to another possible print for the month of March. Uh, won't say what it is. I'm just going to let you guys steam and speculate about that. All right, so that is there. Okay, Alan. I'm glad Night Terrace is coming to an end. Yes. So we can get back to Green Hair and Mary. Yes. Um, which I will say, I really have only read the first issue of the new Green Arrow series. So I want to say that there were like what 3, 4 issues then before they started Night Terrors. It was the same thing with Green Lantern as well. So yeah, just from a sales standpoint, unless you're a completionist, I think that would be like the only real reason why. And something that you had mentioned before, not just to me in person, but I think you have also had mentioned this in shop talk, is this would be Night Terrors would have been great if it was a just for the month of October, like an annual, basically, the same way like Bloodlines was an annual. Uh, that would have made sense. It wouldn't completely kill the continuity of uh, the whole Donna DC stuff. So yeah, I'm just ready for this scene to kind of go bye bye, and all of that can get back in order. Which at the same time, we're also getting a Justice League versus King Kong versus Godzilla comic out of nowhere, and then the Teen Titans going to have their own thing going on with Beast World. So I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a lot going on. Okay, so I'm basically right now looking at this one Green Arrow pick. Thinking this one was from Rebirth. Anyways, I am looking at it and basically just letting my eyes dictate the shapes. Uh, the only reason that I'm doing that is so I can get an idea of what I'm going to be blocking in, what I'm going to be leaving out. I believe we are going to drop in decently good shadow right here. How the kaijus get into DC? I'm assuming it's a Warner Brothers situation, um, because if I remember correctly, the recent Godzilla and King Kong movies were done by uh, Legendary Studios, and if I remember correctly, those are Warner Brothers studios. So that's I'm guessing that's how they got away with that. Uh, but uh, as far as I know, the actual great the original sole proprietors of the Godzilla franchise. I think it's like Toei or no, I don't think it's Toei. I forgot what company it is, but you know they're still the ones in charge of the Godzilla franchise. Um, which uh, speaking of that, if you guys have never watched Shin Godzilla, highly recommend Shin Godzilla. I know that on Amazon Prime, Shin Kamen Rider is on Amazon Prime as well. So these are done by the same director who did Neon Genesis Evangelion, but it's not anime; it's all live action. Um, and I haven't finished watching Shin Kamen Rider. I want to say I'm like halfway through watching that. I need to pick it back up. Been slowly binging Fringe. Um, but yeah, that's there, and there is Shin Ultraman is the only other one that I know that's supposed to be happening, but I have no idea if it's already out or if it's not. I don't think it's Shin Godzilla that's going to be in the comics. I think it's going to be the 2016 Godzilla that's going to be in the comics. Because, like I said, I'm pretty sure that they're using the 2016 Godzilla and King Kong uh, from Legendary Studios. If that's what you're talking about. Yeah, like I know next to nothing about Kamen Rider except for the fact that it's technically part of the whole Sentai Ranger thing ish. I have expected it to be. I mean, it's got plenty of violence, but I have expected it to have been a lot more violent, uh, like uh, Fire Booster Guyver violence. I was half expecting it to be in that the anime, not the live action one before anyone tries to throw me on the bus. I know that there's people that absolutely love the two live action films, more so the second one than the first one. Um, but no, it's not those. Um, but anyways, that's really all that I even know about that. I do think that the graphics in Shin Kamen Rider are fantastic. Um, Especially with some of the practical effects that they use, which that is that's definitely something that I miss a lot more in movies. Practical effects. I mean, obviously, you couldn't do practical effects with Oppenheimer. That would be um, well, okay. I'm not saying that you couldn't, but I don't think the Geneva Convention would or United Nations would appreciate that very much. Um, but like if you look at Barbie, which I still have yet to be able to go to the theaters for any of the recent stuff that's come out. I do want to go see Barbie and Oppenheimer and um, Blue Beetle. Um, I think I will also watch the new Ninja Turtles as well. But yeah, so I mean, if you look at Barbie, all of the props and stuff like that, I mean, that's not CGI. I mean, the majority of that they built, and they did it in the aspect of, technically Barbies were a lot taller than the actual houses and stuff like that that were sold. So I and of course the cars and stuff like that, you couldn't really fit a Barbie in correctly. It's just kind of like adjacent. Um, so I thought that was kind of a cool correlation thing that they did with that. Um, if you're referring to the recent issue, the answer is no. Um, I haven't even read the recent issue. I tried reading issue one, and as much as I love Wonder Woman, I couldn't get into it. Uh, I do think it's kind of cool that the it does get into Justice League Dark correlation. At one point, she was in charge of Justice League Dark post Rebirth, which I was kind of glad about that, simply because you can't put Batman in charge of every single team. It's dumb. Yeah. So no, I haven't read that issue yet, and I'm not sure if I will. I'm more so looking forward to the Tom King stuff, which I hate the fact that there are people who have read the first two or three issues already. Um, Even though it's PDF, but it's like, come on, throw me a bone. Also, if you guys happen to be hearing something that sounds like a fan blowing, well, that's what it is. It's been a very hot and humid summer. I want to say that my uh, car was reading 94 or 95 uh, when I went to go get dinner before starting this. Based on the way Wonder Woman 9 Tears ended, when Justice League Dark is coming back on somewhat. That would be nice. The biggest things that I liked about the recent Justice League Dark was the fact of you had one woman that was in charge of it, which made sense because she was born of magic, and it wasn't Constantine or Batman having to be in charge of it. I like the fact that you still had some of the same characters as the previous one from New 52, but um, I don't remember if Detective Chimp was in the New 52 um, Justice League Dark. I know that he was in the one that was in Post Rebirth. I just don't remember if he was in the New 52 one. Which that really makes me kind of want to go back and read it. All right. So going back to doing this because I need to get this done. Dropping in shapes. All right. Now we want to get to the nitty gritty fun part. Ah, okay. So if you are not comfortable with using Sharpies, you might want to just use a regular pen. But I'm comfortable with using Sharpies. Now, I have been asked the question before when it comes to colored blanks. You know, say for instance, you've ended up with a colored blank and it's like some color that you just don't know how to. So, like for instance, let's say you, or sorry, like a total what if situation that let's say they released uh, Okay, so um, Marvel released a pink blank variant for like X-Men because of the new X-Men 97 that's coming out. And it's just like, well, what do I do with this? It's pink. Well, I mean, you can still do some of the same stuff that I'm doing right now. As far as just, using um, uh, using negative space. There we go. Sorry. Um, exe failing. um, so I mean that is just something that it's not as difficult as you think it is. There's always ways to work around. And of course, with it, total what if situation, X-Men 97 pink variant. I mean, there's several X-Men characters that you can do with that. You could totally do Jubilee, you could totally do um, Gambit. Um, the list is almost endless. Blink, you can definitely do that. I've heard way too many people gripe and make excuses about uh, all the black blanks that have came out within the last, you know, 3 to 5 years. And it's just like, you need to up your game. You got to think use the negative space. Don't know how? Well, grab a blank sheet of paper and start learning. And it doesn't matter if it takes, 1 month or 1 year for you to finally get it to where it clicks. Let's do it. Now, when it gets into the subject of some of the blank variants that have like a super glossy finish on that, yeah, good luck. The only ways that I know those things, as far as just being able to use them, it will take pencil, it won't take ink, it definitely will not. Well, hold on. It will only take ink for a moment. It won't take markers, especially uh, anything alcohol-based markers. So that's Copics, uh, Prismacolor, Winsor Newton, Ojai. I think that's the new one. All of those, it won't take them. Um, Definitely not Sharpie. That's like trying to work on the glossy end of a backing board, and it's not good. Uh, However, it will take paint. Uh, what kind of paint? Definitely not watercolor. So you're probably looking at either acrylic or maybe airbrush. Um, I'm not sure about oils, so can't help you with that. let's see here. He was in JSLD. Okay, I'm guessing you mean Justice League Dark. Yes. Well, the magic side, uh, the things that go bump in the night. Uh, I mean, you definitely could not put Superman in charge of that because uh, Superman is highly vulnerable to magic, unless that's been retconned. And this is where we start really dropping in detail stuff. Using this. So did this little stitching work right here. And so this is something that you will see with guys like David Finch, Adam Hughes, Travis RS, where it's basically just using uh, negative space to give the idea of a stitch or a staple, threading, a shoelace, whatever. move this around just a bit so I can get a better angle. Swap over to a brush pen. Let's see. What I'm thinking is exactly what it is. Right. So we basically have the main purpose and outline of all that's going on right here. I am going to be dropping in some little areas regarding like white ink. And on top of that, I am going to be putting in a bit of a black on this side right here, just to tie it in all together. Now, as you can see, I am leaving a little bit of a sliver right here, so you can still get the idea that the hood still has some shape, still has some form, which kind of ties everything together when it comes to dealing with negative space. Now, there's another way of doing this instead of just using a Sharpie. You can definitely use any sort of matte black ink. Uh, so matte being spelled M-A-T-T-E, which there are several different companies that make that sort of stuff. I use Eon, Vortex Black, uh, Dr. Dr. P.H. Martin also makes a matte black ink, which you can find those at almost any hobby store uh, that you can walk into. That works as well. Which, if you are going to be doing that, please be careful. Always have like some sort of either like a piece of paper underneath here or around it, so that you're not just like spilling it all over the place, basically. Right. And I'm actually going to be rendering that part just a little bit more. All right. Now, the best part, using white. And I'm going to be using the white very, very sparsely. Basically just kind of creating an atmospheric effect, basically. Um, which the more and more I look at the space, the more I want to drop more darkness into it. Uh, and I think I'm going to do that just to be on the safe side. I would rather have that than not at all. Uh, but at the same time, I also don't put in too much that it's just going to be completely lost in all of it. Because I still want to have shape. I still want to have definition of sorts. Now back to the white. I'm only going to put the white in one area, at least on the face. So little, and yet it says so much. But I don't want to leave it alone by itself, so I am going to be putting in some rain effects. That would be completely remiss if I didn't. I put these little white dots that are just kind of like specking off just because the idea of, rain has obviously hit Oliver. It just makes sense. This is one of those moments where I've always wondered about, characters like Green Arrow and Batman and uh, any sort of like street justice vigilante where they're just kind of like sitting, lurking around in the darkness at night while it's raining, and just have like Sound of Silence playing in the background. I've just often wondered if I'm not alone. I feel like that would just be maybe a little bit too on the nose. I don't know. But all right. And of course, like always, please sign your so we could have definitely done without the rain. It would have still worked without it. I just like adding it in for things like this. It makes sense. Um, but this is basically how you would be able to do something like this. And this is just one of like a myriad of examples of how to basically use a colored blank cover such as this and try to use it within the best of your abilities. And negative space is definitely one of those things that can definitely work and definitely brings out a bit of a different punch to trying to tie in something like this together. So I think it came out quite well. And I'm also kind of happy because now this means I have drawn Green Arrow for the second time in my, or third time in my life. Yeah, it's less than five. I know that much. Um, who knows? Maybe next time I actually draw an actual archer. So, a couple of different things that I wanted to let you guys know before we basically call it the end of this video. First things first, there are going to be several prints that will be popping up starting at about, if not next month, but definitely starting in October. Uh, Actually, yes, it would be starting in October, which the first print that is going to be coming up in the next 2 months is going to be it's going to be the Resident Evil 25th anniversary print, which is something I'm extremely happy and excited for. Um, and the uh, sketch cover commissions that I have opened up this month, they will be ending on September the 1st. So uh, if you're watching this, like I said at the very beginning of this episode, it is August the 20th. You have until September the 1st. Shoot me a message on any of my social media places, and we will get all that squared away. So far, I've gotten, I believe, 8, 10 have already been claimed through what, 5, 6 different lots that I've just put up there for the world to see. So, yeah, definitely claim yours. I can tell you right now that all of the Spidey related blanks have been claimed. So, if you're interested, get on that. Get what you can. Um, Starting in October, I am going to be doing a daily prompt. And yes, it is going to be on the spooky side of things, not really like horrors and creature and stuff like that. I've done that before, kind of been done and over with that. But it is going to be on the gothic side of things, on the creepy side of things, And I will be posting more about that towards the end of September, in which I will be releasing the prompts, in which you guys will be able to claim your piece or pieces. I'm wanting to keep it as much of original art as possible, because I want to try to see if I can break away from not having to do fan art for an entire month. Um, so let me know about that. Now, last but not least, right now we are on episode 37, which means we are 13 episodes away from reaching 50. If you're watching this either on Facebook or on YouTube, please comment on this particular video, regardless if it's on Facebook or if it's on YouTube. For the 50th video, what do you want? We gotta make it special. We gotta make it interesting. Uh, Not just for the views, not just for the algorithm, but it's the 50th, episode of Lines on the Page. Quite excited that I'm 13 episodes away from this even happening. Didn't think we were going to last this long, but hey, I've been proven wrong before. It's not often, but I have been proven wrong. So let me know in the comment section what you would like to see as far as celebrating the 50th episode of Lines on the Page. So, with all that being said, I want to end the night doing our in bits of housekeeping. Haven Comics, located at 1871 Slaughter Road, Suite F in Madison, Alabama, in which our store hours are Wednesday through Sunday. So please do not show up on the store on a Monday or a Tuesday. We will be closed. Remember to like and subscribe. If you happen to like this video or any other video that we happen to do with Haven Comics, please do so. Click the bell notification so you'll know when we're about to go live, whenever we're about to upload videos. Alan's been killing it with the shorts as of late. So he posts anything and everything on it basically on a daily basis, as far as just stuff that's going to be in the store, stuff that's going to be showing up for that week. So don't sleep out on that. Click that bell notification, share, comment. We want to hear you guys. I want to hear you guys. With that being said, if you want to know where you can find me on social media, just type in tpriceartworks, all one word, and you will find me. Facebook, Instagram, the place that was Twitter that's now known as X, and will be shutting down if I have to guess by 2024. But on my link tree with this link right here, you will find me on other places, on other social media sites, including a Patreon, which I will be uploading sample pages for a possible new writing and drawing credits comic through a very possible Kickstarter for next year. So you don't want to sleep out on that, because those pages will be posted very soon, within the next month. So I will see you guys there if you happen to find me on my Patreon. Don't step out on that. Which also, there are other rewards and things that I do post every month on my Patreon, including things that are back behind the scenes that no one even gets to see, especially on these videos, as well as first dibs in terms of new prints that I'm going to be putting out. Those people will automatically get that. So don't sleep out on that. But I want to wish you guys very good nights. Thank you all for chiming in, and I will see you possibly next week. More details on that. Have a good night.